Now, there is a lot that you can do on a gap year. There's no shortage of options. And with enough creativity or enough money, you can make the world your oyster. All of these options can feel paralyzing. You can do literally anything. So what criteria should you use when deciding what to do with your gap year? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Hi, my name is Dylan David Gordon. You are watching Beyond Young, where I take you from school life to real life. And today we're going to be going over what you should be doing during your gap year. Now, I'm going to be honest with you right out the gate. I am a huge believer in the human intuition. I think that you already know exactly what you need to do this year. You don't need some guy on the internet spoon feeding you an itinerary. What you'll get the most value out of is, well, questions to ask yourself to kind of point you in the right direction. Because here's the thing. If you don't have like a criteria, a set of questions you're asking yourself about all of the options you have in front of yourself right now, everything is going to be equally as important, equally as appetizing. It's like you're sitting in front of a buffet right now of options, and unless you have like a diet you're trying to meet, then you're just going to want to like roll around on the buffet table trying to get a bit of everything. And unfortunately, you can't like be in two planes at once. You have to make decisions on how you're going to spend your time. So with that said, today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 questions that I ask myself from time to time to make sure that, well, I'm living honestly and authentically and on a path towards being the most myself, if that makes sense. And I think that's going to help point you in the right direction on how to spend your time this year. You're going to get so much value from this video. I'm so excited to share it with you. So without further ado, let's talk gap year. Now, the first question to ask yourself, and this one's like pretty obvious, is what are you scared of? Now, I don't mean like, I'm scared of tarantulas, I don't like snakes, unless like you want to work in a zoo or something. What I mean is, what are situations that make you uncomfortable and you find yourself actively avoiding them? This could be, I don't know, going to parties, like just meeting new people. It could be going to the gym. It could be looking at like your bank account. What are these things, these situations where that like give you butterflies? And what if you were to make it your objective this year, your purpose for waking up every single morning to conquer these fears and like take those lessons and integrate them into who you are? This is literally what character building is, and why most people are pretty boring, because they don't do this kind of stuff. What if, I don't know, maybe you're a little chunky, you know, you get a little bit of weight to lose that you'd like to have off, but you're not comfortable in the gym. What if you were to go from this to being someone who can squat like 300 pounds? I don't know if that's a big number. It sounds big. What if you could squat 300 pounds at the end of the year? And looking back, you wouldn't even recognize yourself anymore, because going to the gym is just something that you do now. So taking a second to reflect on situations that have made you uncomfortable and coming up with ways or finding situations to kind of go through them trial by fire style would be an incredible way to spend your gap year. You get so much growth out of it. Get over those fears now. Now, the second question is one that made my mom uncomfortable when I told her I asked myself this when I was graduating high school. And that question is, what would you do if your parents were dead? It's a quote from a chapter in the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Detta. And what the question has us reflect on is, are we just looking for our parents' approval? Look, when I was graduating high school, I was asking myself, do I go to university right now? Because I wanted to either get into marketing or biology. I liked both of them. Do I go? I bumped into this question. If my parents weren't here and it were just me, would I do this? And like from the back of the cave, the back of my mind, it was a big, huge no. It wasn't the right choice. Like I wanted to go to school to keep my parents happy, but it wasn't who I was. So I made the choice not to go. How are you looking to spend your gap year? And are you looking to spend the gap year that way just to make your parents happy? But it's going to be your story. So yes, parents are freaking critical. I don't think people today respect their elders enough, to be honest, because, you know, yeah, there's textbooks and you can learn anything online, but there's some stuff that just comes from life experience. Parents, grandparents, they're amazing, but it's also important to check in with ourselves and remain grounded in who we're trying to be. So, question 2, what would you do if your parents were dead? Now, question 3 is probably the most important of the 3, the most meaningful. And that is, why haven't you hit the like button yet on this video? You've made it this far. You're getting something out of it. Let me know that you're enjoying it. But for real, question number 3, when do you find yourself getting lost in an activity? It doesn't have to be something productive, but just what things do you find yourself when you start doing them, time flies really quickly. For me, in high school, again, I'll divulge a little bit, but I might have done card tricks for like 3 or 4 years. Because when I did it, the time flew. It was amazing. It was fun. And I put a whole bunch of time into it, even though I knew like being a full-time magician was never in the cards. Ha 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 ha. But the skills I picked up from doing that were incredible. I learned, well, how to learn, first of all. Like those moves aren't easy. It takes an insane amount of practice to get them. And it taught me patience in that you can learn anything. And it also taught me just how to better communicate and how to manipulate people's attention. Again, just the super important things that, though I might not be a magician today, there are skills that I picked up that can be transferred into doing stuff like this, like talking to you on YouTube. So these interests that you have, it could be birding, it could be baking, it could be, I don't know, training chickens to do tricks. These interests that you have play into a skill set of yours. That's why you like them. People like things that they're good at. That's a little secret. People like being good at things. Buried inside that thing that you're enjoying is like a core competency of yours. And even though you might not turn this thing into a full-time income down the road, you're going to be developing your strengths doing it that you'll be able to apply to other areas of life down the road. So during this gap year, consider doubling down on things that make you feel like the time is flying, and who knows when you'll apply those skills down the line. Now, if you're in the middle of your gap year right now, or maybe you're just graduating high school and are planning out the year ahead, I have a very special, treat for you. It's a book, totally free, called 3 Steps for an Awesome Gap Year. There's nothing like this book on the internet. I've done the research, I've done the digging. This is the most practical, works on any budget, no matter what part of the world you're in. This book will virtually guarantee that you have not only a meaningful gap year, one that you feel like you're making progress in, but also have an insane amount of fun. So you're gonna wanna download that. It's in the description. And if you have a couple more minutes to spare, maybe you're procrastinating on some project you should be doing, why not check out one of my other gap year videos while you have a moment. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.